Well, it's a good morning from Sydney, Australia. G'day, guys. It's Peter Burge, or as my mates call me, Pedro. I am going to do something different for this season, guys. I'm going to do some reactions to the reactions. So we've got three journalists or video journalists that we will listen to today, plus a clip from Kyle Shanahan and Deeb Samuel. It's mainly going to be focused on the quarterback competition for these first couple of weeks. You can see now I just had quarterback Trey Lance throwing. He's got an improved throwing motion. And now we've got Sam Darnold on the field. Obviously, Brandon Allen's out there as well. Brock's not throwing today. But we're going to hear from Grant Cohn. We're going to get some different perspectives from the guys over in the States who are actually at training camp. So we've got Grant Cohn. We're going to listen to Kyle Shanahan, Deeb Samuel, Larry Krueger, and the last one is going to be David Lombardi. So trying to give you a bit of an even spread of the guys that were over there. So let's go and firstly listen to a clip of, let's go to, I think we'll go to Mr. We'll go, sorry guys, let me just get that back in and we'll share what Mr. Kyle Shanahan said. And this is in a question to, by, I don't know the journalist's name, but it was in question about Brandon Allen. And you'll hear something interesting that Grant Cohn says about Brandon Allen. So let's hear what Kyle Shanahan has to say.
Is practicing all the time. Do you still envision having four quarterbacks here?
Yeah.
You've never done that.
So blunt.
I don't believe you've ever done that before. I know you touched on this a little bit yesterday, but is it just because Brandon Allen you think is talented enough to stay here?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted 3 in OTAs. We had 2 for the first part, so we want to add a 3, and we've really liked him so far. So, we don't want to just get rid of guys we like.
Yeah, it's funny he says that, right? So, look, Brian Allen, as we know, was the backup to Joe Burrow last year. He's apparently a good quarterback, but we're going to hear from Grant Cohn now, and he's going to give his reaction to the action today on the field, and you'll hear some interesting things that he says has got to say about Brandon Allen. So let's have a listen to this.
Trey Lance, he completed 5 of 6 pass attempts during 11 on 11s. Plus, he scrambled for a first down on 3rd and 7. His best throw was his first throw, a 30-yard play-action pass to Ty Davis-Price running wide open up the left sideline. Lance's only incompletion was a nicely placed touch throw downfield to Deeb Samuel that got broken up at the last second by a leaping Fred Warner, who makes plays like that all the time. Lance seemed to focus on throwing passes to his left, which was an issue for him last year.
Interesting.
Not this year. He's opening his hips early on throws to his left, which is key. Plus, his release is much quicker than the past 2 years. Thank you, Jeff Christensen. And he's throwing short passes much softer, according to Deeb Samuel. Good first day for Lance, who clearly was the best quarterback on the field. Sam Darnold. He completed 2 of 4 passes during 11 on 11s and took a sack after holding the ball for at least 4 seconds in the pocket. It's incredible how indecisive Darnold is despite all of his starting experience. His best throw was a 15-yard completion over the middle to Brandon Ayuk on 3rd and 7. His worst throw was a deep pass to Danny Gray, who had beaten cornerback Ambry Thomas. What else is new? But Darnold's pass hung in the air and gave Talanoa Hufanga time to run over and break it up. I still have no idea what the 49ers see in Darnold. He's the same guy he always has been. Brandon Allen. He completed 0 of his 3 pass attempts during 11 on 11s. His best throw was a deep one to Danny Gray, which led Gray out of bounds. His worst throw was a deep one to Tay Martin up the left sideline, which almost landed out of bounds. Yesterday, Kyle Shanahan said he needs to get Allen more reps. No, Kyle. He's terrible. Your job is to get more reps for Lance, the guy.
All right, so we'll leave Grant there on that pose. And so you can hear, we know that Grant has a very different style to obviously Larry Krueger and David Lombardi, but he is very much in Trey Lance's corner. I am as well. I think that, oh, who's talking? Let's not, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Sorry about that. So now what we've got to do is go and listen to something that Mr. Deeb Samuel said. So let's go to here and listen to what Deeb Samuel said about Trey Lance. Now, again, I'm just reminding you guys that we are trying to get some different perspectives from some of the guys on the ground there and some clips from the coach and from some of the players. So let's play this. Listen to this.
Kind of a relief to know that he was cleared for everything to go.
I mean, yeah, quarterback competition is gonna be a really good one. You know, Trey's has. I mean, you asked me, Trey's got better since the last time I saw him from due to his injury. He's got better, so I mean, I'm excited to see how this camp going to go.
So super interesting comment there, and Grant has talked about it as well. He didn't mention anything about Brock Purdy being QB1. Now, look, I don't want to get into the position where I'm in the corner of one particular quarterback in terms of getting us wins. The reason I like Trey Lance is the upside. Brock Purdy did a fantastic job last year, and I would be very happy if he continued that through this year and won us games, got us to the Super Bowl and won us the Super Bowl. But you have to take note of the guys that are over there on the ground watching what is happening. And so with that said, again, let's go and listen to what Larry Krueger has to say about this. Now, he has a very different style again. Let's share this tab and hear what Larry Krueger has to say a little bit about the quarterback competition. Now, let's remember, again, he says this before he's leading up to this, what this little grab, he talks about it's day one. Don't put too much emphasis on the numbers. Don't put too much emphasis on what the quarterbacks are doing because they're not playing with pads on. So let's hear what Mr. Krueger has to say.
Let's go into just some of the things that I saw today. Now, Trey Lance was 5 of 6. He had a long throw to Ty Davis Price on the sideline that was impressive. I thought Lance definitely looked the best that I've seen him look as far as he's got a streamlined motion. He definitely he doesn't hold the ball low. He doesn't have that loopiness. There's not a big elongated motion. It's a lot more concise.
Larry.
And to me, he was the best looking quarterback that I saw today. Now, Brock Purdy did not practice today. He is going to practice tomorrow. So we'll have a better idea, of how Purdy looks tomorrow. Darnold, I thought looked pretty good at times, but nothing spectacular. He was 2 of 4. He took a sack on one play. He looked just okay to me. Brandon Allen looked.
Do I teach myself or do I look?
Sorry, guys. What he said about Brandon Allen is that
Learn it from somebody else.
Well,
remember,
Brandon Allen said that Brandon Allen didn't look at anything special, and so it really rings true in regard to what Grant was saying in terms of what's he doing on the roster. But then again, you've got Kyle Shanahan saying that we don't want to get rid of people that we like. But I will always go back to Kyle Shanahan being a man that cannot, the word I'm looking for is evaluate quarterbacks, right? He chose CJ Beathard as a person. He chose CJ Beathard over Patrick Mahomes. Now that to me is 101. And obviously we didn't know what Patrick Mahomes was going to be, but CJ Beathard over some of the quarterbacks that were taken back in 2018, I think was a huge, huge mistake. And again, proves the point that in terms of quarterback evaluation, Kyle Shanahan really doesn't have a leg to stand on. So let's listen to another very different perspective of what happened today out at training camp. Day 1, San Francisco 49ers training camp 2023. This is David Lombardi of The Athletic.
All right, that was a fun first day out here on the practice field. Really spirited. We saw the 49ers talking some trash between offense and defense on social media. Well, that continued to today. 2 instances. One, really nice catch from Brandon Ayuk, who's strong, dominant every rep. We saw this last year. Hard to cover Brandon Ayuk. Looked good already today. He started getting in Deommodore Lenoir's face after he made a big play. Then you had a deep pass from Sam Darnold intended for Danny Gray, where Talanoa Hufanga just came flying over the top. And
sorry, I'm going to go back to that. Just listen to the different way these content creators talk about Sam Darnold?
A big play. Then you had a deep pass from Sam Darnold intended for Danny Gray, where Talanoa Hufanga just came flying over the top. And as he came flying over the top, he broke it up. And then Talanoa Hufanga and Danny Gray got into each other's faces. So 2 instances there, guys are kind of chest to chest. And I know last year we saw the fight between Brandon Ayuk and Fred Warner. That wasn't until after pads came on. Pads aren't on yet. Pads are going to come on maybe Sunday, maybe Monday. But I do expect this 49ers camp to have some fireworks. And that's exactly what you want to see out of a competitive team. If you want the numbers today, Trey Lance 4 of 5, Sam Darnold 2 of 4, Brandon Allen 0 of 3. They don't mean that much at camp. They especially don't mean that much with no pads on. But I will say to the 49ers that we saw defensive coordinator Steve Wilkes call a couple blitzes, one from Talanoa Hufanga, and Trey Lance got a good ball off, but this 49ers defense is a monster. And the pass, which was intended for Deeb Samuel, had bracketed double coverage with Fred Warner 25 yards downfield, ready to.
So we'll just leave David there for a second. And so I guess, again, you think about what Grant said about Sam Darnold and Brandon Allen. You think about what Krueger said about Brandon Allen and Sam Darnold, and the way that Lombardi then described what was happening on the field. And I guess it wasn't as an in-depth analysis. This was one where David was walking off the field. But nevertheless, there are very different styles with these content creators over there in the States. But my job, what I want to do this year, is to bring out the Australian fans of the 49ers, just some different perspectives of what is happening over there, really concentrating on what is happening with the quarterback competition until we get up until the preseason games, the first one being against the Raiders. So thank you, guys. There's a little wrap up from day 1, a reaction to the reactions. I'll see you tomorrow from day 2. Interestingly, Brock Purdy will be throwing tomorrow. So really looking forward to hearing what they have to say about that. Okay, that's over and out from me. Thank you very much, guys, and I will see you tomorrow. It's going to go on for a little bit here as I end the broadcast.